Hi, this is John from Two Doves Bees and Gardens. I want to welcome you to my bee yard. Here's John from Two Doves Bees and Gardens. Just kind of showing what we do, what we've got going here. And every once in a while I get asked about these flower pot swarm traps that we make or that we have made. And so I thought I'd show you how we put them together. Essentially, we've created these little templates and we put these inside. When they're put into a tree, this is the way they hang. You can see it's got two frames inside right now. I've already bolted these together, or screwed them together. I put them together upside down. But we made this little template, my friend James and I, and we kind of put them together, had this idea that we could put frames inside of a flower pot swarm trap. These are just the fiber pots, and we have one entrance open, and the rest we close up. And essentially they just sit into the fiber pot like that, and then once they're together, we hang them like this with the entrance so that the bees can come in. Here's the entrance, and have a place to start building their comb without actually building it into the flower pot itself, which makes a mess. You might have noticed, and I can show you one from earlier today, that where we took the bees out of the swarm trap, they actually put comb on the inside of this. I haven't cleaned this one out yet. There's some comb that was drawn by the swarm that had moved in. I'll process that wax. I'll take it in. Don't want to leave it in my workshop. But essentially, it basically just gives them like a small beehive, and we just put it all together. I don't know if other people have questions about how we do it, but you know, these have been very effective. We've caught, I'm going to say, over 30, maybe upwards of 40 swarms using these exact pots over the last 3 years. And I like to catch bees. It's almost as fun as going fishing for real fish. It's fishing for bees. Not much else to really say about it. I do, when I finish putting it together, we'll use some Swarm Commander, and I just give a little squirt up here, which the bees can't really get to, but they can smell. It lasts a lot longer. And then once it's done, I'll also give a squirt down here to the entrance. And that's been quite effective, worked really well. Our first year, we actually just would put a Q-tip or a cotton ball into a Ziploc bag, leave the Ziploc bag partway open, and we would bait it with lemongrass oil and stick that in the tree. And that was also very effective. Didn't have any issues with that. And that's what we do. Generally speaking, the pieces that we have to put these together are this little template that we created that fits fairly well inside of this. As I've already shown you, we use some eye hooks that we just essentially put through the fiber pot, screw it in, and then it's got this little block of wood, and that's what we use to reinforce the frames and hold everything together inside of the swarm trap. And then we use the eye hooks and bungee cords around a branch in a tree. I don't like climbing trees. I don't like heights particularly. They don't scare me, but when I'm working with bees, the last thing I want to do is have to climb up a tree or get on a ladder or whatever. I use a step stool, and as high as I can get with that is as high as I hang the swarm traps. And then I might, when I'm done, throw a little piece of tape around the hole where the eye hook is. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't like the way this one's set, so I'm going to redo this one a little bit. I might actually have to flip it upside down just to get the right orientation, because we don't want to drill multiple holes. I'll flip this over and see if it fits a little better, and see if the hole lines up any better for it. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm ready to put the whole thing together. We have a top and a bottom. Obviously, only one side has the entrance. The other side, you might be able to see that we just used that spray expanding foam to close the other entrances. I did use a Thompson water seal on the outside of these. And basically I just line up, there's a hole for the eye hook here. And I just kind of lower that down and then put the, but once I have the eye hook in there, we basically just turn these one way or the other. And let's see if I can line up some holes. We screw these two pots together, and I try to line up holes that I had used before with without having to create new holes. The fewer the holes that you have in these fiber pots, the better off you'll be. They only last for so long. And it looks like these will line up okay. Sometimes you have to give them a little bit of a squeeze. Of course, they will form to whatever shape you need, especially if they get a little wet. Like I said, these are about 3 years old, and they've held out really well. Basically, just a small, almost like a deck screw, and I just go from the top down into the lip, from one lip to the other on the fiber pots. Give that a turn, another screw. And when we're finished, we'll actually get some duct tape or Gorilla tape, one of the two, whatever I happen to have handy, and we'll go around the outside of the center to kind of make them a little more weather tight. Just keep rain from going right into the middle of the swarm trap. And the fewer screws that I put in, the better it will be as far as the longevity of the swarm trap. Just trying to catch the edge of the flower pot below. Doesn't need to be extremely strong. It's mostly just to create a cavity. These flower pot swarm traps, when you put two of them together, is about the size, might be just a little bigger in volume to a 10 frame deep. Looks like I need one more screw, and I've got a bucket full of them here. You see this is one where a screw had already gone through. So we've got another hole here. We'll just put that in there, screw that down. And there we go. As I said, one finishing touch is to wrap the center with some duct tape. And we'll go hang this in a tree. And you've seen the videos on my channel where they're very successful. We did do one alteration to these, and the holes that are normally here, I increased the size of them a little bit. We found that the bees on the normal size hole were having trouble. They wouldn't go into the swarm trap so much. They'd always collect on the outside, and we'd collect some big swarms. There was a couple of them that were 8 to 10 pounds of bees, easy. So as soon as I started increasing the size of that hole, the entrance, we started getting bees more inside. These are still problematic. I built some square swarm traps this year. To this date, they've been very, I like them, but I haven't had much success with the square ones at this point. We're hoping to change that. But that's it for today, and appreciate you hanging out. If you get a chance, made it to the end, let me know. Just comment, said, hey, made it to the end of this video. Always appreciate new subscriptions and thumbs up, likes on YouTube. I appreciate it. Again, this is John from 2 Dubs Bees, and I'm gonna get out of here. It's too hot.